Have you ever seen a stray cat sitting by the roadside and wondered where she was going? Most people walked past her. Some felt sorry for her, but no one stopped. She was soaking wet from the cold rain, shivering, exhausted, and painfully thin. Yet she wasn't begging for food. She wasn't searching for shelter. She was waiting for someone kind enough to follow her. Whenever a person came close, she would let out a desperate cry, then slowly walk away only to stop every few steps and look back, as if pleading, "Please don't leave me." Most people ignored her. Some believed she was simply another homeless cat. But one elderly man noticed something different in her eyes. There was fear, there was hope, and there was a silent plea that words could never express. He decided to trust her. The cat immediately turned and hurried toward a patch of thick bushes by the roadside, stopping every few meters to make sure he was still following. When the man finally pushed the branches aside, his heart nearly stopped. Hidden beneath the tangled brush were 4 tiny newborn kittens, cold, hungry, too weak even to cry. Their brave mother had spent days searching for help, refusing to abandon them even for a moment. She chose hunger over leaving her babies alone. She chose exhaustion over giving up. But there was something even more heartbreaking. The mother cat herself was badly injured. Every one of her front legs had been seriously wounded. She kept searching until she found someone willing to listen. The man carefully wrapped each tiny kitten in his jacket and gently carried the little family to the nearest veterinary clinic. The veterinarians immediately treated the mother's injured leg. The kittens were warmed, fed, and finally safe. Days turned into weeks. Slowly, the mother's strength returned. Her wound healed. The frightened kittens opened their eyes, began to play, and discovered a world they almost never had the chance to see. Soon, they no longer had to survive. They could simply live. Today, this little family sleeps in a warm home, surrounded by love instead of fear. The same cat who once cried alone beside a cold road now closes her eyes peacefully, knowing her babies are finally safe. Sometimes, the smallest cry carries the biggest story, and sometimes, one act of kindness changes an entire family's future. But perhaps the most beautiful part of this story isn't that they were rescued. It's that one person chose to care when everyone else walked away. The world often changes quietly, not through grand speeches or extraordinary miracles, but through simple acts of compassion that most people never notice. A hand that reaches out, a heart that refuses to ignore suffering, a decision to stop instead of passing by. But perhaps the most beautiful part of this story isn't that they were rescued. Care when everyone else walked away. The world often changes quietly, not through grand speeches or extraordinary miracles, but through simple acts of compassion that most people never notice. A hand that reaches out, a heart that refuses to ignore suffering, a decision to stop instead of passing by. Maybe this story isn't just about a cat. Maybe it's about all of us. Every day, we pass people and animals who are silently hoping that someone will notice them. Sometimes, one small act of kindness is enough to change a life forever. Kindness costs so little to the one who gives it, but it can mean everything to the one who receives it. Let this story be a reminder that no act of compassion is ever too small. The world becomes a better place every time someone chooses to care. What would you have done if you had seen this mother cat by the roadside? Do you believe that one act of kindness can change a life? If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who still believes that compassion can make the world a better place. Share your answer in the comments. I read every one of them. And if stories like this touch your heart, don't forget to subscribe. There are many more touching stories about kindness, compassion, and the incredible bond between humans and animals waiting for you in the next videos. Thank you for being here and for choosing kindness.